We had option tires, another very close race finish. Kyle Larson trying to pull a dive bomb move at the end, but it is Christopher Bell winning his third consecutive race. Let's break down NASCAR in Phoenix. Hello everybody, welcome to Dirty Air. I'm your host Alex Lambert, and let's talk about NASCAR in the desert, Phoenix, Arizona. What a fantastic finish to this race. What a great race it was throughout the entirety, but Christopher Bell is showing that he could join elite company, and he is right now unstoppable in this 2025 NASCAR season, winning 3 of the 4 races so far this year, 3 in a row. William Byron with the only exception winning the Daytona 500. We'll break all that down. We'll break down this close finish. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson trying to pull a late move to win this Phoenix race. We had option tires, and that certainly shook up the results of this race. Tires that were softer, faster on the racetrack than others. That was certainly an interesting aspect to this race, and let's get into it. And let's start out by just talking about the finish. You can take a look at it here. What a fantastic final lap. Denny Hamlin going onto the back straightaway, had a great run of energy on that top lane, but Christopher Bell was able to rub doors with him a little bit. A great move by Christopher Bell to get a little aggressive, but not overdoing it. Even Denny Hamlin was okay with this following the race in his post-race interview. We'll probably get some more comments on that in Actions Detrimental, but what a fantastic finish. Christopher Bell wins. You see Kyle Larson in the blue 5 car, kind of pulls off a little dive bomb move there, hits Christopher Bell coming to the finish line. Oh yeah, I think Bell came across the line a little sideways. If there was another lap, Bell might have lost a lot of speed after that hit from Kyle Larson. But I thought this was great racing, fantastic racing, a great finish for the NASCAR Cup Series. I wasn't excited about it wasn't an overtime finish, but the restart with 2 laps to go. I feel like we've seen a lot of that this year. But let's take a look at the 3 wins Christopher Bell has got. All of them in very impressive form, right? You go back to Atlanta, barely squeezes out a win against Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar. Certainly a difficult situation there, but comes home with the checkered flag after that race in Atlanta, and a super speedway, a drafting track type race. Then we go to Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. We have Christopher Bell running on a road course, trying to pass Kyle Busch, 2-time champion, top 10 on the all-time win list. He's able to get around him cleanly without even touching him, is able to get by Kyle Busch, win his 2nd consecutive race at Circuit of the Americas. Then we come to Phoenix today. Christopher Bell is obviously one of the fastest cars. You go back to yesterday in practice and qualifying, it was clear that Christopher Bell and William Byron were going to be the 2 cars to beat. You could even throw Joey Logano in there if you want, but it was clear that Christopher Bell was going to be really fast today, and he was, and he just edges out Denny Hamlin by roughing him up a little bit, make some contact. What a fantastic move. Christopher Bell got a lot of cheers today in Phoenix following this win. Christopher Bell is becoming a NASCAR Cup Series star, and I think that's important. The way he was able to win these races is certainly going to be popular amongst fans right now. Christopher Bell has obviously made it to the Final Four a couple of times, looking for that first championship. 3 wins so far. The first time in the history of the next-gen era, which started in 2022, a driver's won 3 consecutive races. He'll be going for 4 in a row next week in Las Vegas, which is very possible considering what he's done at Las Vegas in previous years. Almost won there, just barely got beat last year by Joey Logano on a strategy move in Las Vegas, which was a fantastic race too last year in Las Vegas to end that season out. But Christopher Bell is just on fire, unstoppable right now. The way he's winning these races, very impressive. It's going to be very popular. Christopher Bell, I think, is turning into a NASCAR Cup Series star. After these 3 wins, very impressive. This is the first time a driver's won 3 races in a row since 2021 when Kyle Larson was on his, exceptionally great season. And this is the first time a driver's won 3 races in the first 4 since Kevin Harvick in 2018. That was the big 3, if you remember that. And then, of course, William Byron's been fast this year as well. But certainly very impressive. Let's break down the entire top 10 of this race. Once again, a lot happened. We have a lot to dissect. But Christopher Bell, obviously your winner. Denny Hamlin, a nice 2nd place finish. Certainly going to be frustrated that he didn't get the win. But, Joe Gibbs certainly sweeps the front 2 positions. Kyle Larson, another 3rd place finish. Not able to get the win yet. But Larson's been close at a few races so far this year. You go back to Atlanta and you come to today where he finished in the 3rd position. Josh Berry, a great run for Josh Berry in the 21 car. Was able to use some of that strategy with the faster tire, the option tire, to get a 4th place finish. I think it's a very solid run for the 21 Wood Brothers Ford at an intermediate style racetrack, Phoenix Raceway. Chris Buescher, nice 5th place finish. Had a little bit of drama today, but was able to finish in the top 5. A nice result for the 17 car. William Byron was really fast. You got the pole yesterday on Saturday, showed a lot of speed throughout the weekend, but was just really fast all all day long. Looked like one of those cars to beat. Once again, I talked about Logano, Bell. Byron was kind of that third guy that was up there, one of the fastest race cars. Unfortunately for him, when he come to make his final pit stop at the time, Bubba Wallace slams the wall. A caution comes out while William Byron's on pit road. My first thought, I think everyone watching the race first thought, oh, this is terrific. He doesn't have to pit. He got trapped one lap down. Just an unfortunate sort of luck circumstance. Very frustrating situation for William Byron in the 24 car. Was able to get all the way back up to 6th position in the last run of that race. That's impressive in of itself. But once again, William Byron is establishing, and Christopher Bell, that they're the two cars to beat right now every week. They've been up front every week. William Byron's the points leader. Christopher Bell second in points, but with the most wins. Certainly, it's going to be important to continue to watch them, both of them moving through the season. They're establishing themselves right now as the two best drivers so far in 2025 out of the 4 races that we've seen. That's important to watch. Alex Bowman, 9th, 7th place finish, recovery, almost got in a couple of accidents today, started in the back, started 30th, I believe. Yeah, started way back there. Was able to use some of that strategy with the option tires, but really just had a pretty solid race car. Got up to 10th position. Once again, dodged a few wrecks early in this race. Dodged the big one on lap 99, which we'll talk about, and got a nice top 10 finish. A good run for the driver of the 48, Alex Bowman. Kyle Busch. I went into this race thinking, as a Kyle Busch fan, let's just survive today. Last year was terrible at Phoenix, 30th place finish. Didn't run well. It's been a disaster at these 1 mile flat racetracks for Kyle Busch, really since joining RCR. You can look at New Hampshire, all the Phoenix races. They have been terrible since Kyle Busch has joined the number 8 team. They have been really bad for him. I mean, I'm talking about not even being able to run top 25. But today, Kyle Busch, a nice 8th place finish, ran around 10th, 11th, 12th all day long, capitalized on it, finished 8th, a nice finish for Busch. A good start to the year for Kyle Busch. This is now 3 consecutive top 10s, and we're going next week to a racetrack he can certainly get a solid finish at, a mile and a half intermediate style track, which he's been good at in the past, in the recent past, 2024. So great day, I think, for Kyle Busch to survive, finish 8th. Zane Smith, another great run for Zane Smith, finishing in the top 10. That's certainly going to be impressive. That's a nice finish for them. And then Chase Elliott, who kind of had a quiet, decent day, right? Was 15th to 20th the majority of the race, but was able to get up there in the later stages and get a top 10 finish. A nice points day for Chase Elliott. But once again, we're still looking for Chase Elliott to get above that hump, start to win NASCAR Cup Series races. He hadn't done that so far this year. He hasn't done it since Texas last year. Been a while for Chase Elliott. Want to see him get, out of that 15 to 10th range or even top 10 range and get back up there with Byron, with Christopher Bell and those guys, because I know Chase Elliott has the talent to do that, certainly. Once again, we had a big crash, lap 99. This was on a restart following a caution, and once again, things just really stacked up. This took out a lot of really good drivers. Chase Briscoe, Brad Keselowski, Carson Hocevar, Justin Haley, a lot of the Spire Motorsports cars involved. Shane Van Gisbergen involved in this. Big hit to those drivers today. Very unfortunate for all of them that they were caught up in this NASCAR crash. And once again, all of those Spire Motorsports cars involved is very frustrating. Cole Custer involved in this as well. Had a rough day for Cole Custer too. But a rough day for Spire Motorsports. They showed a lot of speed yesterday in qualifying. It looked like they were going to have a great day. And all of them, well, 2 of them got taken out in that crash. Justin Haley, Carson Hocevar. Once again, Carson Hocevar started 3rd. Michael McDowell, the other Spire Motorsports car, had a really rough day too. You can take a look at what he had going on today. He had to go to the rear for an unapproved change going into the race, so he gives up that top 10 starting position, has to start in the back, then has a flat tire, slams the wall, has multiple flat tires after that. But there was one good thing for Michael McDowell. He did post the fastest lap today, which is 1 extra point. He gets 11 points on the day, but Michael McDowell, all of the Spire Motorsports crew, were going into this race thinking it was going to be a great weekend for them, and things just really fell apart. So that's unfortunate for the entire Spire Motorsports team. What was looking like it was going to be a really good day turned out to be a really rough, really frustrating day for that team, and that's really unfortunate for them. Let's talk a little bit about Joey Logano. I have to mention him. I mentioned Christopher Bell. I mentioned William Byron. Looked really fast throughout the entire race, throughout the entire weekend, but so did Joey Logano. Logano just got caught on the wrong strategy with the option tires. Unfortunately, at the end of the race, fell back a little bit and could not recover from that. Finished outside the top 10, top 15. Certainly a frustrating situation for Joey Logano there to not be able to, compete for the win or even finish in the top 10. That's frustrating for the driver of the 22 team. But this really started when you lose that track position, when you lose an advantage like he had in the lead. It makes you to where you can't make decisions in your favor. You need something good to go your way. And that's just what Logano just couldn't quite get today. Him and Paul Wolf just couldn't quite pull that off. Here's the penalty that he got early in the race. Went below the yellow line before getting to the start-finish line. That is clearly a black and white rule. Even Fox Sports talked about this. That's a clear black and white rule that NASCAR laid out going into this Phoenix race. You cannot go below that yellow. I didn't know this rule was a thing until it happened today, but it apparently has been a rule for quite some time. You cannot go below that yellow line before you get to the start-finish line on a restart. Unfortunately, Joey Logano went down there. They call it the dog leg. Got a drive-through, pass-through penalty. Was able to recover somewhat. Got back up front, but had to use a set of option tires early, which was a disadvantage to Joey Logano. So I wanted to explain what happened to him there and why he wasn't in the top 10 following a fantastic race weekend where they had fast cars. Just couldn't quite get the results. Penske teammate Ryan Blaney was running in the top 10. Looked like he was going to get his, 8th top 10 in a row at Phoenix. You know, Penske's fast at this racetrack. We know that now. And then, unfortunately, in the closing laps of the race, the 12 car blows an engine. Unfortunate circumstance there. I'm surprised they blew an engine at this racetrack, right? That was a bit strange. We'll have to go back and see what that was because this is a lower speed racetrack and it's only 312 miles. You typically don't see engine failures at this type of track. A quick look at the point standings because we are 4 races in. Once again, a lot will continue to change. William Byron, Christopher Bell, your only 2 winners this year. And then, of course, you can tell the rest. You know, obviously Logano, Kyle Busch in the playoffs as it stands right now. You can look here, Kyle Larson in, Bubba Wallace with the points hit today. Carson Osevar now would fall out of the top 16 as it stands right now. So would Chase Briscoe. But once again, still very early in the season. Don't want to look at these too seriously at this point in time because these are going to change so much. But that's it. Really all there is to break down following this NASCAR Cup Series race in Phoenix that I thought was a pretty fantastic race. I had a lot of fun watching this race with all the tire options and all these sorts of different scenarios. I thought it was fun to watch. I thought Goodyear did a fantastic job at implementing these tires, and we're going to see how far we can push going into Phoenix for that championship race later this year in November, and there will be a tire test tomorrow and Monday as well. We'll certainly have to follow that closely too. You know, of course, next week we'll be in Las Vegas. NASCAR at a 1.5-mile track. Las Vegas had some good races there with this race car in the past. Certainly excited to do a race review on that. And of course, about Kyle Busch in the top 10 today, 3 times in a row. Let's get rowdy.